Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are once again going to be discussing the upcoming live-action Ninjago movie and actually some examples that can be seen in other movies that are either out right now or coming out very soon regarding how exactly the dragons might look in the live-action Ninjago movie. Because this is a live-action adaptation of Ninjago, and Ninjago is pretty much known for a lot of dragons, especially now with Dragons Rising being the literal name of this current series of Ninjago, I think it's safe to say that no matter what the live-action Ninjago movie decides to do, dragons will be included. So in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at some examples, because again, I feel like a lot of these properties will actually give us a good idea regarding how the dragons in this upcoming Ninjago movie could end up looking. Let's get to it. The trailer in question being for the upcoming remake of How to Train Your Dragon, which, like Ninjago, is a live-action remake of a CG animated thing. Now, the reason why we are talking about this specifically is for one major reason. I like How to Train Your Dragon enough. I'm not like the biggest fan of these movies, but one thing that I do want to point out is how the dragons look, because no matter what the live-action Ninjago movie decides to do, whether they decide to do a pilot remake or some type of original story, no matter what they decide to do, I'm sure dragons will be involved in some way, shape, or form, and I feel like they could look very similar to the dragons seen here. Because again, like Ninjago, How to Train Your Dragon was a CG animated thing. The dragons do have a very realistic design, but they are also kind of cartoony at the same time, the big eyes, all of that good stuff. Very cartoon-like features still on this dragon right here. So yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, this could very much be what we are going to be looking at regarding live-action Ninjago dragons. Again, if the Ninjago movie even has dragons. Not sure why they would not. I also love how the dragons move here. It is also worth mentioning that, of course, the company that does the CGI for this movie might not be doing the CGI for Ninjago. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying, this is also a live-action render of a very cartoony dragon design. And I think it looks pretty good. This also tells me that Ninjago, the live-action movie, has a chance to actually make their dragons look at least somewhat accurate to the TV show. Again, if they are doing a pilot remake, we could have dragons like Flame, Shard, Wisp, Rocky. They could look very similar to how they look from the show, except again, more photorealistic, yet keeping that same cartoony design and those same cartoon-like movements. I love how the dragons look here, or at least the only one that we've seen so far, Toothless here. We've seen, other dragons very briefly in a few other shots. We only have the teaser trailer right now for the live-action How to Train Your Dragon, so again, not expecting too much, visual reference as to how the dragons might look in Ninjago, but still, I would expect something similar to this. I love the scales. We can see a little bit of, again, that cartoony design shining through. I love that. Love that quite a bit. If you wanted another reference, again, Detective Pikachu, another movie that adapts a lot of cartoony designs into live action. And I think for this movie, a lot of it works. I love how Pikachu looks, etc. But Charizard, Charizard is technically a dragon-like Pokemon. I know he's not a dragon type except in his mega form because I'm also a Pokemon nerd, but come on, look at him. He could very well be, I guess, a good reference as to what, say, Flame could look like in the live-action Ninjago. Again, adapting that more cartoon-esque design, but making it live action. I feel like this is also another good representation of what dragons in live action Ninjago could totally look like. In comparison to another series, now this series I actually have not seen. This comes from Game of Thrones, apparently. These dragons, they're cool and all, but I'm not sure if Ninjago would ever go for dragon designs that look like this, because honestly, quite frankly, these dragons, I hesitate to say they are more realistic, but they are definitely not as cutesy as some of the other examples that we've just looked at. And if Ninjago, will be including live-action dragons, which, again, more likely than not they will be, I don't think they would go for this more realistic, rigid design with a lot of details and a lot of complicated features. Again, that cartoony vibe from How to Train Your Dragon and Detective Pikachu, I feel like that is more so what the Ninjago movie would be going for regarding a live-action dragon design. And, you know, going back to the live-action How to Train Your Dragon trailer just for a second, I do feel like if this upcoming live-action Ninjago movie chooses to adapt the pilot episodes, obviously they would need to expand those out a little bit more, right? The pilots clock in at about 45 minutes, not enough for a full-length movie. So what I would recommend doing is taking a cue out of the How to Train Your Dragon book, and maybe, like this movie, and like the original animated movie, show the ninja bonding with the dragons, because that was something that we kind of missed from the pilots. I'm not saying do a one-to-one carbon copy of this, because obviously you would not want to do that, but maybe just have some type of bonding experience, because all things considered with the pilots, the ninja pretty much bonded with them off-screen, gained their dragon suits off-screen, then came back stronger than ever. We saw none of that, and again, if the upcoming live-action Ninjago movie will be a remake of the pilots, include stuff like this. This is cool. I would love to see this in a live-action Ninjago movie. Say what you will about this movie right here, the live-action How to Train Your Dragon being a soulless cash grab or whatever. I mean, the dislike counter here, at least on this upload, you know, kind of tells me a little bit about how people are feeling about this movie. Say what you will about this movie, but I would love to see this in a live-action Ninjago movie. And again, if we need to expand out the pilots, do more stuff to expand out what that storyline is, do stuff like this. Would love that. So again, regarding these examples, while probably not going to be exactly like some of these examples, I do feel like the live-action Ninjago movie, again, assuming that it will include dragons, I imagine a lot of those dragons will look at least similar to at least some other types of dragons that we've seen in other media, especially more of those cartoon to live action types of things. And if not, well, obviously these dragons existing just at all in other media pretty much confirms that the live action Ninjago movie does not need to change that much. And a lot of the dragons that we do see can look very accurate to how we saw them way back in the pilot episodes and other episodes of early Ninjago. I would like those giant blocky heads, a lot of the same aesthetics that we saw from those original dragons. That is only if this movie ends up being, again, a pilot remake. If it's something else altogether, well, I hope the dragons at least look somewhat decent. That's all. Leave all of your thoughts down below in the comments. What exactly do you think about the dragons in the upcoming live-action Ninjago movie? If the movie even includes dragons, what do you think they will look like? Do you have any ideas? What types of dragons would you like to see? Which dragons specifically would you like to see? Leave all of your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this one, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.